Hello everyone, welcome to today's session on thermodynamic systems. Thermodynamics is an essential branch of physics and engineering that helps us to understand how energy and matter interact in different processes. It is widely applied in fields such as automobile engineering, power plants, refrigeration, and even human metabolic systems. Going into the deep, let's define a thermodynamic systems. A system is a specific part of the universe that we focus on, while everything outside the systems is called the surrounding. The boundary between them is called the system boundary. For example, in an automobile engine, the engine and its components can be considered as the systems, while the air, fuel, and exhaust gases around it form the surrounding. The engine walls serve as the boundary between the system and its surrounding. Now, thermodynamic systems are classified into three main types based on how they exchange matter and energy with their surroundings. They are known as open systems, closed systems, and isolated systems. Each of these plays an important role in thermodynamics and real-world applications, especially in automobiles, power systems, and industrial processes. Let's explore them in more detail. As we have introduced the basic idea of thermodynamic systems, let's break down it into further. The key terms which are involved in thermodynamics include system, surrounding, boundary, and universe. The system is a part of the universe that we are analyzing. It can also be a single object, a machine, or even an entire industrial process. The surrounding includes everything outside the system, which interacts with it. The boundary is the dividing line that separates the system and its surrounding. This boundary can be real, physical, or imaginary. The universe comprises both the systems and its surrounding. Take a small example of a car engine. In a car engine, the system consists of the engine block, pistons, fuel mixtures, and coolant. The surrounding includes the atmosphere, external air, and the exhaust gas. The boundary is the engine walls and the other enclosure that separates the internal components from the surrounding. Now coming on, the other aspects of a thermodynamic systems, it can also be defined as a portion of the universe that is isolated for the study. It can be a fixed amount of matter or a specific region in a space where the energy interactions are observed. Systems vary in small and also it can be a complex, ranging from a single molecule to an entire power plant. Take an example of a vehicle's cooling systems. The cooling system in a car, which includes the radiator, coolant, and water pump, can be considered as a thermodynamic system. It absorbs the heat from the engine and releases it through the radiator, ensuring the engine stays within a safe temperature range. Now, to understand the surrounding includes everything that interacts with the system. Depending on the system type, the surroundings can transfer heat, work, or matter into or out of the system. For example, in an engine, the surrounding consists of the air that enters the engine for combustion, the fuel that is injected into the cylinder, the exhaust gases that leave the system after combustion, the coolant system that transfer heat away from the engine. These interactions between the system and surrounding determines the type of thermodynamics process which are taking place. The boundary of a thermodynamic systems plays a crucial role in controlling how energy and matter move between the system and its surrounding. Boundaries are classified as diathermal boundary that allows heat transfer. Example, the engine radiator, which transfers the heat from the coolant to the surrounding air. Adiabatic boundary, which prevents heat transfer. For example, the insulation around the engine, which reduces the heat loss. Third is the rigid boundary, which prevents the volume change. For example, the sealed fuel tank, which does not allow the fuel expansion or evaporation. By understanding the boundaries, we can better analyze how systems behave under different conditions. The universe is simply the sum of the system and its surrounding. Mathematically, we express this as universe is equal to system plus surrounding. Take an example of car air conditioning system. The system includes the compressor, refrigerant, and condenser, while the surrounding includes the external air and cabin space. The thermodynamic systems in this can be considered as the sole air conditioning system, while the surrounding can be considered as the cabin space. This surrounding and the system, if we club them together, it becomes the universe. Now, these systems are grouped based on how they interact with their surrounding, and understanding these classifications helps in analyzing various energy transformations. The three types of thermodynamic systems are the open system, closed systems, and isolated systems. Now, in case of this open system, it exchanges both matter and energy with its surrounding. In case of closed systems, only energy, and in case of isolated systems, not energy as well as not matter. Now let's explore each type of this in real-world automobile examples. A closed system can exchange only energy, not matter, with its surrounding. The mass inside the system remains constant. Take an example of a car cooling system. The coolant circulates within a sealed loop. It absorbs the heat from the engine and releases this heat through the radiator. No coolant is lost unless there is a leakage. Since only heat, that is energy, is transferred, the car cooling systems act as a closed system. As we have seen, open system allows both energy and matter to flow in and out. Take an example of a car engine. Air and fuel enter the engine. The energy is released during the combustion process, and the exhaust gas leaves the systems. This exchange of matter and energy makes a car engine a perfect example of an open system. An isolated system does not exchange either energy or matter with its surrounding. It is completely sealed off from external influences. The insulated thermos flask can be considered as an isolated system. If a thermos bottle we keep a coffee, it remains hot for a longer time. Since there is no heat interaction, no heat enters or leaves from this thermos, and also there is no exchange of matter. Although perfectly isolated systems does not exist in reality, a well-insulated thermos is the closest example of a practical isolated system. Now, coming on to the summary of the today's sessions, we have seen what is a thermodynamic systems, what is universe, what is surrounding and boundary. We have classified the thermodynamic systems as open system, closed system, and isolated systems. Take an example of an open system. It is a car engine which allows energy and matter to exchange. In case of closed systems, there is only energy exchange. The best example is the car cooling systems. And in case of isolated systems, it do not allow any exchange. The best example, a well-insulated thermos. By applying this principle, the engineers can design more efficient automobile engines, cooling systems, and thermal insulations for the various applications. Thank you and have a good day.